My name is John Davison, and I chose Chimney Rock for my Nebraska landmark presentation. So, a little history about Chimney Rock. It's one of the most recognizable landmark for the pioneers, and this is all the same for the Oregon, California, and Mormon trails. And it is recorded amongst 300 pioneer journal entries as the most mentioned landmark. It's a symbol of great western migration. The name Chimney Rock originates from the first fur traders in the region, and it's also known as Chimney Rock, Chimney Tower, and Elk Peak by the pioneers. So, a little bit about its location and geology. It stands 325 feet tall. It's located about 4 miles south of present day Bayard, Nebraska, and it's on the south edge of the North Platte River Valley. It's a remnant of the erosion of the bluffs at the edge of the North Platte Valley. It's made of volcanic ash and brittle clay. Dates back to the Oligocene period, which is 34 million to 24 million years ago, and it's 480 feet taller than the North Platte River Valley. Why is it significant? So, approximately 500,000 pioneers passed by Chimney Rock. Warren A. Ferris, an early fur trader, left one of the earliest descriptions of the landmark on May 26, 1830. Joseph Hackney, a 49er on his way to California, described Chimney Rock as the most remarkable object he had ever seen. Many travelers carved their name into the landmark, but today there are only a few left because of erosion and vandalism, and it signals to the pioneers the beginning of the second phase of their journey, and mountain country was about to begin. So I talked about earlier a little bit about the journal entries, and I wanted to go over a few. So this first one's from Rufus Sage, and states October 26, 1841. Raising camp at daylight, we resumed our way, and soon afterwards arrived opposite the chimney. An extraordinary curiosity that had continued in view and excited our admiration for some 4 days past. This singular formation surmounts a conical eminence which rises, isolated and lonely, in the open prairie, reaching a height of 300 feet. A grand and imposing spectacle, true, a wonderful display of the eccentricity of nature. And then again, Joseph Hackney, June 9th, 1849. We passed Chimney Rock at 10 o'clock. This is the most remarkable object that I ever saw, and if situated in the States, it would be visited by persons from all parts of the world. It can be seen for 20 miles before you get to it. So, what does this landmark mean to Nebraska? So, pioneers built Nebraska into what it is today, and Chimney Rock is a natural monument dedicated to the risks so many took in the 19th century. I believe it's very poetic that the greatest monument of the pioneers is a natural landmark, because the Great Plains is a harsh and wild climate described by many as an untamed land. And I wanted to end this slide with an excerpt from Willa Cather in her book, O Pioneers. For the first time, perhaps, since that land emerged from the waters of geologic ages, a human face was set toward it with love and yearning. It seemed beautiful to her, rich and strong and glorious. Her eyes drank in the breath of it, until her tears blinded her. Then the genius of the divide, the great free spirit which breathes across it, must have bent lower than it ever bent to a human will before. The history of every country begins in the heart of a man or a woman. So that did not have anything to do with Chimney Rock, but I think it's a great excerpt about the land that Chimney Rock is housed in. I chose Chimney Rock because it is one of the few Nebraska landmarks that I've been to. I also thought it tied in well with what we are currently learning in class about pioneers. It's truly one of the most fascinating landmarks in Nebraska, and this class has helped me gain a newfound inspiration of the journey the pioneers made.